Hello, Shruti.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Shakuntala, madam. श्रुती मी दिसतोय का मी दिसत नाहीये स्क्रीनवर?
दिसतोय तुम्ही?
दिसतोय ना मी?
हो हो.
शकुंतला मॅडम. Shakuntala madam, I think there is some technical issue, so let us start the lecture. I hope I am audible to others as well. Okay. Namaste. I welcome you all to the fourth day of our lecture series. Today we have our own alumni, Ms. Shruti Kanitkar. Let me take this advantage to introduce her. It is my great privilege to introduce Shruti Kanitkar. Today's lecture is very special as our own alumni, Shruti Kanitkar, is going to narrate the journey of her own Sanskrit Mahakavya. Shruti has done BA in Sanskrit from Ram Narayan Ruia College. She has pursued MA Sanskrit with specialization in Vedanta from Department of Sanskrit, University of Mumbai. Currently, she is pursuing her doctorate degree in Sanskrit from IIT Bombay. She has presented research papers in various national and international conferences. She has written, hello, hello.
Sir, you're audible.
Okay. She has written Sanskrit Mahakavya titled as Srimati Charitam. She has received a prestigious award from Sahitya Akademi for the same. It is really a proud moment for Department of Sanskrit. I, on behalf of Sanskrit Department, congratulate Ms. Shruti Kanitkar for her accomplishment as a Sanskrit poet at such a young age. Now, I request Shruti to start her talk.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Okay. या देवी सर्वभूतेषु भक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः शारदा शारदाम्भोज वदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं सन्निधिं क्रियात्. A very good afternoon to all of you. Today I am going to speak to you about my book Srimati Charitram. But before that, I want to express deep gratitude towards Shakuntala Madam and the entire Sanskrit department of Mumbai University for inviting me to this lecture and giving me a chance to express my emotions and my journey in front of all of you. So thanks a lot. And now I will proceed with this talk on Srimati Charitram. So first of all, let us come to the name Srimati Charitram. This is, as we can understand from the word Charitram, this is a biography. And many people always ask me by hearing this name that whose biography is this? Who is this Srimati? So first of all, I want to introduce that Srimati is goddess Sri Radha. As we all know, Sri Radha Krishna, a divine couple, are famous in our Indian continent. and all over the world as well, because of ISKCON and all other sampradayas, we know about Radha Krishna. But do we really know completely about both of them? If we ponder, we can understand that we actually know the biography and the stories of Sri Krishna, but we know not much about goddess Radha Devi. And this book is an attempt to search and dive into the life of goddess Sri Radha. Sri Radha has many names. So there is Radhika Sahasranama Stotram, where we find 1000 names of Sri Radha, and one amongst them is Srimati. And that name has been taken here as an epithet of Sri Radha, and therefore this book is named as Srimati Charitram. So why the name Srimati and why not Sri Radha? The answer is Srimati means the one who possesses Shri. So what is Shri? Shri is prosperity. So now Navaratri is going on. So we are all worshipping the goddess, and the goddess is Shri. Lakshmi is called Shri. And not only that, whatever which is auspicious, what is good, what causes wealth, health, well-being, happiness, all that is called as Shri. And therefore we have Gruha Lakshmi, we have Dhanya Lakshmi, we have different forms of Lakshmi, and all of them come under this term Shri. So the goddess who possesses all kinds of Shri, she is called Srimati. And therefore, Sri Radha only is Srimati, because as per Brahmavaivarta Purana, she is the first goddess, and from her only Lakshmi appeared, and then all the forms of Lakshmi appeared on the earth. Therefore, she is called Srimati, and in Vrajakshetra, she is called Srimati Radharani. Therefore, this Charitram has been termed as Srimati Charitram. So now we have seen the meaning of this name. Now, before going to the contents of this book, I will like to elaborate more about some books which have been written on goddess Sri Radha. So when I wrote the book, it was some years ago that I wrote it. At that time, I did not know how many books or what kind of literature has been written on goddess Sri Radha. But now, as I'm reading further, I have got information about some books which are dedicated to the emotions of Sri Radha. So I want to discuss a few of them with you. First of all, if we look into the Sanskrit literature, there is a book called Radha Charita Kavyam or Radha Charitam, which is authored by Harinarayana Dikshita. And we have this book in the Sanskrit department of Mumbai University. I happened to see that book some years ago, and it contains the story of Sri Radha mainly after Krishna's departure to Mathura. The good news is that all the verses which are written in that book have Hindi translation as well. So this book has been translated into Hindi. Therefore, it is better for understanding. In that book, we see that Sri Radha is explaining the importance of Karma Yoga to the people from Vraja, to all the other Gopa and Gopis, who are completely broken down after Sri Krishna has left them. So Sri Radha herself is into this agony of separation, but she comes out of that and she decides to uplift all the other people as well. So we see Sri Krishna preaching Karma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, and here in Radha Charita Kavyam by Harinarayan Dikshit, we see that Sri Radha is prescribing Karma Yoga to all the people from Braja. So this is a different addition to this story of Radha Devi. Then we have one more kavya in Sanskrit which is titled Radha Charita Mahakavyam. This is by Kalika Prasad Shuklaji, and he received Sahitya Academy Award for them for this kavya in 1986, I think. So in this kavya again, we see the charitra of Radha Devi, but it is means it has some of the stories of Radha Krishna's leelas, and then some of the stories of their separation as well. So this is one more kavya, Radha Charita Mahakavya. Then we have Radha Parinaya Mahakavyam, which is written by Badrinath Jha. This is also in Sanskrit, and it has 20 adhyayas, 20 chapters in it, and all of them are titled according to the storyline that appears in the book. And this kavya mainly focuses on the life of Shri Krishna and all the stories from his life, like Putana Vadha, Kaliya Mardana, and all the other stories. The climax of this kavya is the marriage of Shri Krishna with Shri Radha at the time of Rasa Krida. So at this climax, Radha Parinaya Kavyam ends, and therefore this name Radha Parinaya Kavyam. So these are some of the kavyas in Sanskrit. There are some more like Radha Panchashati, Shama Shama Shatakam, which are like verses, different verses extolling the emotions of Sri Radha. So let's come to the regional languages. In Hindi also, we have many kavyas like Priya Pravasa. So this Priya Pravasa is by Ayodhya Singh Hari Audh, and he has written this Priya Pravasa, means the journey of the beloved. This is the story of Shri Krishna from the perspective of Shri Radha, and her emotions of separation are mainly discussed in this kavya. So this is Priya Pravasa. Then we have Kanu Priya by Dharmavira Bharati. These are Mukta Chanda verses, free verse style. Many songs are written in Kanu Priya, which are again from the angle of Sri Radha. So she is speaking about her emotions, and this Kanu Priya Kavya was applauded by many critics by saying that the emotions of a woman are very nicely explained in this poem. There are many more kavyas like Shri Radha or Radha titled in this way, or we have some of them like Radha Madhava. All of them are, some of them are in Khadi Boli, some are in Odia, and I'm sure that many more poetries have been written in different Indian languages. But what I have seen in them is, though these kavyas are titled as Radha Charitam, meaning the biography, still we see that only a certain part of Sri Radha's life has been dealt in these kavyas. Mainly the part when Sri Krishna has left Vrindavan and he has gone to Mathura. That time period when Sri Radha was in the distress of separation, that time period and those emotions have been mainly discussed in all these kavyas. But this only forms one part of her life. We cannot blame these poets. These poems are really very good, and we must read all of them for understanding these emotions, subtle emotions of Radha Devi. But we can't blame them that they wrote only this much, because mainly whatever stories are found in Puranic literature, they are discussing this emotion, or they are discussing the love or the union of Radha Krishna, their leelas when they were together in Vrindavan. These leelas are mainly discussed in most of the Puranas. And then what must have happened after he went to Mathura, that is the imagination of these poets. So this is how they have characterized goddess Sri Radha through their works. In Shrimati Charitram, how Shrimati Charitram stands out from them is, Shrimati Charitram discusses the life of Sri Radha right from her incarnation on the earth till she left the earth and went back to Goloka. Not only incarnation on the earth, this Charitram starts from that moment where Sri Radha incarnated as the supreme goddess from the left body of Sri Krishna, when she incarnated in Goloka Dhama, first of all, and then she took an incarnation in the human form in Vrindavan on the earth. So all the stories starting from her actual incarnation to her birth, then her life on earth, and then her going back to Goloka, all of them have been discussed in Shrimati Charitra. So now let us come to the actual storyline of Shrimati Charitram. This book has been divided into 7 sections, and each section has been named as a Leela based on the life of Sri Radha. So first one is Goloka Leela. Second is Avatara Leela. third Shaishava Leela, then Balya Leela, Kaishora Leela, Yauvana Leela, and Brahma Bhava Leela. These are the 7 sections into which this Charitram is divided. So why Leela? Because whatever sport or whatever actions have been done by Sri Radha or Krishna have been termed as Leela by different sampradayas which are related to Radha Krishna. So whatever actions we do, they are karmans. When we do a certain action, we get the fruit of that action. That is what is told by Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you do, you will get the fruit of that action. But Radha Krishna, being divine, whatever action they do, that is for the well-being of the universe, that is for mere sport. Whatever karmans are performed by them, they do not generate any fruit, and therefore they are not called as karmans. They are called as Leela of the Lord. It is like a play. When we are playing, we are not doing something very seriously, or we are not doing it for getting some fruit. It is just for our own happiness, our own joy that we are playing. So that is what is imagined in the case of Radha Krishna, that this whole universe is their playground, and whatever they are doing here or whatever is going on here is the Leela of the Lord. And therefore, these sections have been named as the Leela of Sri Radha. So the first one is Goloka Leela. This marks the beginning of this Charitram, where in the first Adhyaya itself, Sri Radha incarnates from the Vamang, the left side of Lord Sri Krishna, at the initial stage of the universe. There was nothing around, no earth, no sun, no galaxies, nothing was there. And at that time, there was only Parabrahma, because it is Anadi and Ananta. Then when that Parabrahma felt that I want to do this Leela, I am alone, so let me take a form and let me play with myself only. When this Sankalpa came in the mind of this Parabrahman, that Parabrahma incarnated in a human form, and that human form was the form of Sri Krishna, who is the first God. And when Sri Krishna felt that he is alone and now he needs a consort, he needs someone like himself for this play of universe, Sri Radha incarnated from his left side. She was in the form of Kishori. Kishori is a 12 or 16-year-old girl. So that is her eternal form. She incarnated in that form from his left side. And as soon as she incarnated, the first thing she did was she ran on that Rasa Mandala. She went to the trees. She plucked the flowers and came back, and she offered those flowers on the feet of Sri Krishna. This shows her eternal dedication to Sri Krishna. Later on, when the Rishis and the other seers of the Vedas incarnated, or when they were born, they said that as she ran on the Rasa Mandale Dhavati iti Radha. So the name Radha was given to her, or they called her that. So the etymology of the word Radha has been given in Puranas like this: Rasa Mandale Dhavati iti Radha, or Rayam Dhatri iti Radha. Rai means all the prosperities, and Dhatri means the one who holds all of them. So one who holds all the prosperities in herself, she is Radha. In this way, Radha Krishna incarnated, and then from their Romakupa, each pore on their body, the Gopas and Gopis incarnated. So thousands of Gopa Gopis were born from their bodies. And then this Goloka became complete with these Gopa Gopis. And then in the chain of creation, all the other gods, goddesses, and then the universe, all the beings on the universe were created. Then we come to the story of how Sri Radha came on this earth. What was the need for her to come on the earth? So the story that comes in Brahmavaivarta Purana is that Sri Krishna and Sri Radha had a certain quarrel, and then Sri Radha had dismissed Sri Krishna by saying that she does not want to speak to him. And then Shri Krishna was convincing her to talk to him, but she was not listening to him. On seeing this, Shri Dama, who is a friend of Shri Krishna, he got very distressed and he said to Shri Radha that this is not correct of you, that when Shri Krishna is coming to you himself and talking to you, you are not talking to him, you are just discarding him. This is not correct. So when Shri Radha heard this, she said that I consider you as my son, and still you are speaking like this to me. How has your intellect become so demonish, so devilish? And therefore she cursed him that you may become a asura, and you will have to take birth on the earth. Hearing this, Sridama was also angry, and he said that I also curse you that you will have to be born on the earth in the human form, and not only that, you will be separated from Shri Krishna for 100 years. So this is the story that comes in Puranas, that this curse was given by Shri Dama, that she will be separated from him for 100 years and she will have to be here in human form. When these curses were given, later on both of them felt very sorry, but now nothing could be done. The curse was already given. So Shri Krishna then consoled Radha Devi and he told that when I will incarnate on the earth in Dwapara Yuga, you will also incarnate along with me, and then we will be together. I will leave Mathura and come to Vrindavan only for your sake, and we will do leelas on the earth, and then for some time I will leave you and I will have to go away from you. At that time you will bear the separation from me. So this is what had happened, and therefore Shri Radha incarnated on the earth. So these and some more stories about Radha Krishna that happened in Goloka have been enlisted in this first chapter of Goloka Leela. And then we come to Avatara Leela, where the story of the parents of Shri Radha, that is Vrishabhanu Maharaj and Kirtida, their marriage, and then the birth of Shri Radha, then her childhood, all of this has been discussed in the later chapters. So as the life of Shri Radha progresses, the Charitram progresses according to that. So like first was this Avatara, then comes Shaishava Leela, the Leela of the goddess when she was a baby. So mainly these stories are not seen in Puranas, because mainly the Puranas are describing the childhood stories of Lord Shri Krishna only. But there are many songs in Braja Bhasha which discuss the childhood life of Shri Radha. So some of the content of these stories has been taken from them, and some stories have been written by me itself by imagining the childhood of Shri Radha. Then we come to Bala Leela. Bala Leela is the section where the goddess has crossed her infancy and now she is a small girl of maybe 8 or 9 years. So now Shri Radha has become a little older and now she wants to explore the world outside her house. And therefore these Leelas are discussing how she went to Vrindavana, and there she is playing with all her friends, all the other Gopikas who are of the same age as she herself. And then she is going to Yamuna, then her going to the Vrindavan and playing with the other animals there like deer or the cuckoos, parrots and swans and other animals that are there in Vrindavana, because it is believed that these animals are also the incarnations of divine sages or the mukta, those who have been liberated and who want to experience this love, have incarnated again in the form of these parrots and swans and deer in order to be in the company of the Supreme Goddess. So these childhood Leelas have been discussed in Bala Leela. One more important event has been enlisted in this Bala Leela, and that is the event of marriage of Radha Krishna. Now I want to speak more on this issue mainly because mostly we believe, or whatever is popular in the society is that Radha Krishna were unmarried. Their marriage never took place, and therefore they were separated. The reason that this is popular in amongst the masses is because the marriage of Radha Krishna has not been a very big event like the marriage of Rukmini Krishna or Satyabhama and Krishna or the other wives. That has been discussed very thoroughly in Bhagavata Purana and other books dedicated to Sri Krishna's life. So these events have been discussed there. But the event of Radha Krishna's marriage has not been a talk of the Puranic literature as a whole. But their marriage has been described in Brahmavaivarta Purana and also in Garga Samhita. And as I have taken them as my base, I have enlisted this event of Radha Krishna's marriage in Srimati Charitram. Now, the main question which was in front of me when I decided to write this marriage episode was that exactly when did this marriage took place? For Krishna Rukmini marriage, there is no doubt that took place when Sri Krishna was quite bigger in age, and Rukmini was also quite bigger. But now, when we come to Radha Krishna, the exact ages and the time period when they were married is not specifically written in any of the Puranas. Brahmavaivarta Purana also gives this episode, but it has not given at that time what was the age of these two. The episode goes like this. Let me first narrate the episode and then the problems which are arising when we analyze this episode. So the episode goes in Brahmavaivarta Purana like this, that one fine day when Sri Krishna was a baby, Nandaraja, the father of Sri Krishna, had taken baby Krishna along with him, and he had gone to this Vrindavana, means the woods, along with his cows to see that whether the cows are grazing properly. So he was sitting there with this baby in his hands, and everything was going well. Then suddenly, all the Srishti changed. So suddenly, dark clouds gathered in the sky, and there was a very heavy lightning, and suddenly a storm came and rains began to fall. So as the rain started, Nandaraja became afraid that how will I go home now? And mainly, baby Krishna was also afraid, or maybe he was showing that he was afraid because of his Leela, and he started crying. So Nandaraja began to think that now what should I do? If I would have been alone, it was okay, but how will I protect my baby from this storm? And at that time, he saw Sri Radha coming towards him. So the description is that he saw a huge mass of light, and from that he saw a girl coming towards him, and then he recognized that this is Sri Radha. So when he saw her, he was very happy, and he said that please, it is good that I found you here. You please take this baby Krishna along with you to Gokula and give him back to his mother. Please do this for me because he is very afraid and I can't keep him here along with me. So Sri Radha said, okay, I will do that. And she took the baby boy from his hands and she began to walk into the kunjas, into the kunjavana, into the groves of Vrindavana. And when she went into the groves, she came to a small hut-like thing, a small Leela Kutira, as we can say. And then she went inside and she kept him on a small bed. At that time, Sri Krishna left his baby form and he came in front of her in his Kishora form, in his youthful form. And when both of them were together, Lord Brahmadeva descended from Brahmaloka as he was instructed. And he came there and he said that I have come here as per your wish, I will perform your marriage. And at that time, on the banks of Yamuna, he performed the marriage of Radha Krishna. After he performed the marriage Vidhivat, according to all the customary rites that are prescribed in Vedas, after he performed that marriage, he himself as a father gave Sri Radha's hand to Sri Krishna. And after the marriage, he again he saluted both of them, and he went back to his abode. Then Sri Radha, a desire came into Sri Radha's mind of playing rasa along with Sri Krishna. But at that time, Sri Krishna again assumed the form of a baby. And then an Akashavani told her that your desire will be fulfilled some years later. And then again, Sri Radha took Sri Krishna with her, and she went to Gokula and gave him back to Yashoda, and she went in. So this is the episode of Radha Krishna's marriage. After reading this, many people felt that Sri Radha was very much older to Sri Krishna in age. Anyone will feel this by reading this story, because when Nandaraja saw Sri Radha, she was a youthful girl and Sri Krishna was still a baby. And so he took his youthful form, and then their marriage happened. All that was discussed, that is okay. But then what was the age of Sri Radha when this event happened? This was the question in front of me when I decided to write this. If we consider that Sri Radha was so much elder to Sri Krishna, then many other stories which are appearing in the same Purana and as well as the other Purana do not match, because the all other stories are considering that Sri Radha was, though not exact the same age as Sri Krishna, she was still means her age was not too much greater or too less than him. Maybe 1 or 2 years here and there, but not more than that. This has been assumed in all the other Leelas. So then how to fit this Leela into the other Leelas? This question always arises when we have less evidence in front of us. So in this scenario, when I thought over it and I studied that episode again and again, I understood that nowhere has it been written that Sri Radha was youthful or she was maybe 16-20 years of age when Sri Krishna was a baby. Her age is mentioned nowhere. What is mentioned is Nandaraja saw this divine young girl come in front of him. So is it not possible that just as Sri Krishna took his youthful form in front of Sri Radha, can Sri Radha not take a youthful form like this in front of Nandaraja? It is completely possible that maybe her age was different, but when she appeared before Nandaraja, she took on her divine form and came in front of him. And therefore, the description that appears in Brahmavivarta Purana is not humanly. The description of Sri Radha when she comes to Nandaraja is totally divine. The description starts that there is huge mass of light. So many suns and moons are shining together. And he feels that all the tejas, all the lights have come together. And then he sees that one girl is coming towards him, and she is a very divine woman, a very divine girl. And then as she comes near, then Nandaraja recognizes her to be Sri Radha. Then when Nanda gave Sri Krishna in her arms, he said, we can say that he did a prarthana. He prayed to her that may my devotion be always there in your and your beloved's feet. If Sri Radha would have been a human girl of that age, Nanda Raja would not have said this to her, because she was simply Vrishabhanu Kanya. She was simply the daughter of Vrishabhanu for him. Why will he say such divine things to a girl who is from the same village from him? But that was not the case. When she came to him, the description is totally divine, and therefore I concluded that this description must be of an eternal nature of Sri Radha, and therefore her original age must be just 3 or 4. Her earthly age must be 3 or 4, and she came to Nandaraja in this divine form. She took Sri Krishna and went to the Kunjas, and then Sri Krishna also took upon his youthful form. Therefore, this event of marriage has been narrated in Bala Leela of Srimati Charitram. So if someone reads this book thoroughly, he may feel that why is the marriage description in Bala Leela? It should be in Kaishora Leela when both of them were young. Why is it not there? Why is it in this section? So this is the reason that it comes in this section, because when their marriage happened, both of them were in their divine form and not on their earthly form. And therefore we believe that as their marriage did not happen in their earthly form, it is popular that Radha Krishna were not married. But if we see this story, we can understand that they were eternally united, and this marriage was just like a vidhi for them. But that too was performed on their when they were in their divine forms. Therefore, the Bala Leela section ends with this marriage of Sri Krishna and Sri Radha in Vrindavan, and that description is also again completely divine. If you read in the Purana, it is said that just by mere sankalpa of Sri Radha, all the samagri, all that was needed for their marriage just appeared there. And then Yamuna, the banks of Yamuna became golden, and everything was divine at that time when the marriage happened. So this was one thing which I wanted to discuss, that Radha Krishna's marriage had happened, and that was in the divine form when their actual ages on this earth were maybe just 1 or 2 years, 3 years of age in the earthly realm. So this is Bala Leela. Then we come to Kaishora Leela, where the actual meeting of Sri Radha and Krishna on the earth has been discussed. Then the Leela of Hori, or the as we say Rangotsava, that has been told. Some Leelas which have come in the Vraja Kathas, the stories of Vraja, which have been narrated by different great scholarly people, or which have appeared in some books. I have taken some of the stories from them. And then the stories which appear in Puranas are of course taken in the Kaishora Leela section. Now this Kaishora Leela is again divided into two parts, Kaishora Leela Purvardham and Uttarardham. This classification was necessary because the Purvardham discusses the Leelas which have happened when Sri Radha and Krishna were together, when they were staying together in Vrindavan. So their Leelas of Sanyoga are discussed in Purvardha, and in Uttarardha, the Leelas when Sri Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura, those episodes are narrated in Uttarardha. Now again, there are many stories popular in Vrajakshetra about marriage of Sri Radha to some other Gopa called Ayana, or maybe somewhere in Lalita Madhava, Vidagdha Madhava, these plays which have been written by Rupa Goswami, etc. There we find the name of Sri Radha's husband as Abhimanyu. Some say it is Ayana. There is no single thing. We find many stories about this in the folklore. But I have not followed this folklore. I have considered authentic whatever has been written in Garga Samhita and Brahmavaivarta Purana. And there is no mention of Abhimanyu or Ayana, or maybe the sister-in-law of Sri Radha called Kutila, mother-in-law called Jatila. All these characters are famous in the folk stories in Vraja, but none of these have been mentioned in Brahmavaivarta Purana. And therefore, I have not written about them in Shrimati Charitra. There is one episode of marriage of Chaya Radha with a Gopa called Rayana. So, because many people in the Vraja at that time thought that Sri Radha's husband should be Rayana, they forced her father Vrishabhanu to marry her to Rayana. And at that time, Sri Radha, it is said that it is told in the Brahmavaivarta Purana that Sri Radha left her Chaya. Chaya is like a counterpart, or a woman who looks similar to you, who is like your shadow. She's called Chaya. So she told her Chaya to go there, Chaya Radha, and she herself went away from the mandapa, and therefore she was not married to this Rayana, but that Chaya Radha was married. Now anyone will feel that what is this story real or not? But in for authenticizing this story, there is one more story about a gopi called Vrunda, who was an incarnation of Lakshmi, and then she did penance. This story is again appearing in Brahma Purana, so, telling about this penance of Vrunda. And then when Vishnu appeared in front of her, he told her that you will become the Chaya of Sri Radha and you will be married to Rayana, who is my part incarnation. So this story again appears there. So this story is also told in Srimati Charitram. So whatever problems regarding Sri Radha's marriage I have come across, I have tried to deal them in this book in this manner. So these stories are again coming in Kaishora Leela Uttarardham, which marks the separation of Radha Krishna. Then we come to Yauvana Leela. This is the second last section, the sixth section in Srimati Charitram. So in Yauvana Leela, again as we know, Sri Krishna is staying in Dwaraka and Sri Radha is staying in Vrindavan. So what is her life without Krishna? So as the story goes, Sri Krishna had told Sri Radha that you stay in Vrindavan until I come, and I will be united with you after these 100 years get completed. So Sri Radha decided that she will not stay in a palace. She was the princess of Barsana, Vrishabhanu Nagari as it is called. She was the princess, but she left all of her riches. She left her house and she stayed in the woods of Vrindavan as an ascetic, as a tapaswini. So she led a life of tapaswini for all the 100 years, and she said that she will not take any upabhoga. She will not be connected to any sort of prosperities. She will lead this virakta life, life of detachment, because her attachment is only to Krishna. And she says that I don't have any attachment to this body as well, but because my Lord Shri Krishna has told me to stay here until he comes, I will stay here in this body, or else I don't have any attachment to this body as well. So I will be detached and I will stay like an ascetic here. So she wore white clothes, leaving all her Shrangara and everything. She just stayed as Tapaswini and did penance for these 100 years. Then there are some stories which come in Garga Samhita as well about meeting of Radha Krishna in Dwaraka. So in the Siddhashrama, when Shri Krishna had gone to Siddhashrama with all his wives, Shri Radha had also gone there with all the gopikas in order to bathe in the holy waters of Siddhashrama. And there it is said that both of them had met after a long time. Then there is one story about Shri Radha, who was given hot milk to drink. So as Rukmini was taking care of Shri Radha, as because Rukmini knew how much Shri Krishna loved Shri Radha, she also wanted to serve her. So at night, Shri Radha had a habit to drink milk. And because she had not drunk that milk, she was awake, and that's why Shri Krishna was also awake. So Rukmini, when she understood this, she gave hot milk to Shri Radha. She did not do it on purpose, but it happened by mistake that she gave that hot milk, and Shri Radha had to drink that hot milk. So when Rukmini came back to Shri Krishna, she found that Shri Krishna's feet were completely burnt. And she was mesmerized that how did this happen? Shri Krishna told her that my feet are always residing in the heart of Shri Radha. So when she drank that hot milk, it fell on my feet, and therefore my feet are completely burnt. So these stories are indicating how much united were the souls of Radha Krishna. So this is one story. There are some more stories about how their souls were connected, and how, though they were staying separate physically, how mentally they were always together. There are many more stories discussing that, and that has been written in this Yauvana Leela. And then at the end, when Shri Krishna had to go back to his Paramadhama. We know from Bhagavata Purana that the Yadava Yuddha happened, the battle of the Yadavas, and then Shri Krishna left this mortal body when the hunter called Jara pierced his arrow on the feet of Shri Krishna. He then went away to Paramaloka. Brahmavaivarta Purana tells something different. It says that the Narayana Ansha, the Vishnu Ansha of Shri Krishna, went to Dwaraka when Radha Krishna had met for the second time in Siddhashrama. Shri Krishna sent his Vishnu form along with the Yadavas, and then that form got liberated in the way which we have heard from the hunter Jara. But with his actual form, he went back to Vrindavana. And because the 100 years had now got completed, they both had got united in Vrindavana. And again, the time period is never specified for how many days, for how many months or years they stayed in Vrindavana has not been mentioned. But at least for some time they stayed there in Vrindavana, and then both of them together, along with all the Gopa Gopis, Nanda, Yashoda, Vrishabhanu, Kirtida, and all the others who were staying in Vraja, all of them together went back to Goloka. So the story of a divine chariot appearing with the desire of Radha Krishna, and then everyone going to that chariot, along with the parrots and swans and all the creatures who had incarnated there, everyone got on the chariot, and then it ascended and went back to Goloka. This story comes in the Puranas, and that has been told at the end of Yauvana Leela. Now, another important thing to be discussed here is why Yauvana Leela and why not Jara or Marana Leela or nothing of that sort? Why does this incarnation of Sri Radha on earth end in Yauvana Leela? So the answer is Sri Krishna and Sri Radha do not have Jara or Marana. Though they are in their human form, Jara and Marana cannot touch them. And though there is no direct reference, indirectly we understand about this from some stories in Puranas. Here I want to note one story from Bhagavatam about Shri Krishna. So we all know the story of Usha and Aniruddha. Aniruddha is the grandson of Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna's son is Pradyumna, then his son is Aniruddha. And the love story of Usha Aniruddha has been narrated in Bhagavata Purana. In that story, there is one episode when Chitralekha, the Sakhi, the friend of Usha, is drawing the painting of different princes so that Usha can recognize one of them to be her lover. The story what has happened is Usha has seen a beautiful young prince in her dreams, and she does not know who is that person, and she has fallen in love with him. So he is Aniruddha, but Usha does not know anything about him. So Chitralekha, being a good painter, she decides to paint all the yakshas, gandharvas, humans, everyone, so that Usha can recognize one of them. So after painting many people, she finally paints the painting of Shri Krishna. When Usha sees the painting of Shri Krishna, for one moment she is deluded. She stops for a while and she says, it is not him, but it is similar to him. So she was misguided to think that, is he that? But it was not that. So as Aniruddha was grandson of Shri Krishna, he was looking very similar to him. He was dark, he had dark complexion like Shri Krishna, and his facial features were also like him. Now, the point to be understood here is, here we are looking at Shri Krishna as a grandfather of Aniruddha. But if he would have been in Jara, or if he would have been an old person, Usha would never have been deluded by his form. She would never have felt that, oh, this old man is the one whom I saw in my dream. She would have not thought that. Because the fact that she got deluded is because Shri Krishna, even after being so much aged, there was no sign of agedness on his mortal body. He was still ever youthful as he was before. This goes on to show that Sri Krishna was devoid of Jara and Marana. And same was the case with Sri Radha. There are different stories again related to Sri Radha, saying that how she was blessed to be a Kishori. Kishori is a maiden, always being in the form of a youthful girl. So, therefore, as all the traditions related to Radha Krishna believe this firmly that both of them never had Jara and Marana. Therefore, in Srimati Charitram, there is no Jara Leela or there is no Marana Leela because there is no Marana, there is no Jara. And therefore, the last is Yavana Leela. The last thing that happened on this earth is the Yavana Leela. And at the end of Yavana Leela, both Radha and Krishna go back to their Goloka. And then comes the seventh and the last chapter of this last section of the book, Brahma Bhava Leela. So Brahma Bhava is again going back to the state of being Parabrahma. In Radha Vallabha Sampradaya and some other sampradayas related to Sri Radha, they believe that Radha Krishna together are called Hita Tattva. Hita Tattva means a mysterious principle. Hita means that is to be hidden, which is hidden. So that Hita Tattva shows the union of Radha Krishna, just as we have Ardhanari Nateshwara, Shiva and Parvati together. Similarly, Hita Tattva is the togetherness of Radha Krishna. And that Hita Tattva itself is Parabrahma according to Radha Vallabha Sampradaya, according to Hita Harivamsha Goswami Maharaj, who was the main propagator of this Radha Vallabha Sampradaya. His work, he has authored one work called Radha Sudha Nidhi, and that is a very beautiful description of Sri Radha's Leelas and her supremacy and her union with Krishna, her emotions and her playfulness with all her friends. All of that has been discussed in Radha Sudha Nidhi Kavya, which is written by Hita Harivamsha Goswami Maharaj. So in this way, as Sri Radha went back to Goloka, she got united again with Sri Krishna and again they together became this Parabrahma. And if we look back, we understand that we have come back to from where we started. We started from the story when they both got different from each other, and now we have come back to the story when they are again united. So this is how it goes on in a circle. Whenever they want to do Leela, they are separated and then they are again going together. This is what is explained by Bheda Bheda in Chaitanya Sampradaya, which again accepts the authority of Radha Krishna as the supreme God. So Bheda Bheda again discusses the same thing, that they are Bhinna as well as Abhinna. They are different from each other, but at the same time they are the same as each other. This same thing has been discussed in Rasa Leela chapters. Wherever in Kaishora Leela I have told about Rasa Leela, I have tried to explain the philosophical meaning as well. Because if the philosophical base is not given, people are again misled to think that Rasa Leela is again just a Leela of humanly nature, but it is not that. It is a divine sport, and it again marks this Bheda Bheda of Radha Krishna and the Bheda Bheda of all the gopis and gopas along with Radha Krishna. So that those things have been discussed in wherever necessary in the Charitram. So in this way, we come to the end of the Charitram, and at the end, I have again given 3 incarnations of Sri Radha on the earth in Kali Yuga. So her avatara happened in Dwapara Yuga, but in Kali Yuga, whenever the true meaning of love is not understood by people, or whenever this principle of bhakti is not understood correctly, she incarnates on the earth in order to teach us the meaning of unwavering devotion. So she first of all she incarnated as Andal in Tamil Nadu. So it is believed that Andal was the incarnation of Sri Devi as well as Bhudevi. But if we look at the emotions which are displayed by her in Tiruppavai or this Nachiyar Tirumoli, we can understand that her emotions are not different from the emotions of Sri Radha, which she had for Sri Krishna. Therefore, Andal was the first incarnation of Sri Radha. Then, secondly, we have Mirabai in Rajasthan. Mirabai is very, very famous, so we know about her life. And if we look at her life, and if we look at the life of Sri Radha, we can see striking similarity in the life of both of them. Both of them were princesses. Both of them left all their riches for Sri Krishna. Both of them became ascetics, became tapaswini in their later life. So these are some similarities in their life. Then the third incarnation of Sri Radhaji is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His incarnation is believed to be together the incarnation of Radha Krishna as a duet. So both of them came together and incarnated as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if we again study his life form, we can see that he had experienced Mahabhava. So as per Bhakti Shastra, Mahabhava is the highest emotion, highest love for the Lord. And Mahabhava can be expressed only by Sri Radha. It can be experienced only by Sri Radha and none other. The others can maybe experience the Gopi Bhava, but Radha Bhava or Mahabhava is experienced only by Sri Radha and no one else. This is believed by Bhakti Shastra. So whatever description has been given of Mahabhava, that matches with some of the descriptions that appear in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's biography. And therefore we can say that he was one of those very rare people who had experienced Mahabhava. And how could he experience that? Only because he was himself the incarnation of Sri Radha. No other person can experience that. So these three avatars of Sri Radha have been discussed. It does not mean that there are no more avatars of Sri Radha. There may be many more, but whatever I knew that these are the incarnations, I have written them there. So with these three forms of incarnation, this Charitram comes to an end. Brahma Bhava Leela and the book ends there. So this is how this story of Sri Radha progresses from Goloka Leela to the end. Now, as this talk is titled Journey of Srimati Charitram. So I have told the journey of this book. Now coming to my journey with this book in 5 or 10 minutes, I will summarize how I wrote that. So when I wrote that, I was in the college. So many people ask me that, how did you feel that you want to write this Charitram or why this topic? So my answer is that I was reading about Sri Radha since 8th or 9th standard. So my reading was continuing, and I was not reading because I want to write something, because I want to write a Charitra. No, nothing of that sort was in my mind. But I wanted to just know more and more about her, and therefore I was reading it. And then when I was in college in my first year, at that time I felt for the first time that Sri Radha's life should be known by the people. And I am not inventing something. It has been already discussed there, but it is just not popular. So let us write it as a kavya so that people may be able to read it in a continuous chain. And therefore, I began to write it. And it took me 1 year to write, along with all the other responsibilities and all that. So in that year, I wrote all these stories. As and when I heard the stories, I used to write them, compile them together, and then I formed this book. And I actually did not know whatever has been written or not written. Now I studied and I have told you about some of the kavyas which are written in Sanskrit about Sri Radha. At that time, I did not know that, but it is just, I will say that it is just by her grace that I could write this kavya. And for so many years, it was just staying with me. And I then finally published it in the last year, in 2021, September, on the eve, on the occasion of Radhashtami, that is the birth of Sri Radha, on last September. And then I have I happened to send it to this Puraskara, and again by her grace, this Puraskara has come to this book. So therefore, in this way, this journey of Srimati Charitram happened. And again, I want to thank all of you that you have come here and listened to this story of my journey with this and this Charitram. Again, I want to thank Mumbai University, who has always supported me in whatever I have done. And again, they are motivating me to go further by arranging such talks. So thanks a lot. And again, thank you, Shakuntala madam. Thank you, everyone. Namo Namaha.
So once again, we congratulate you, Shruti, for getting such a prestigious award of Sahitya Akademi Yuva Puraskar. And we hope that it will set as inspiration for others, our students, and in fact, all those who study Sanskrit. And it will be definitely motivate them to write such compositions as well. And it was also very nice to know that you have a lot of research done regarding the biography of Radha. And very, very thoughtfully the poem is written, that Mahakavya is written. So it was thought earlier that students, if student could interact, they may have some questions in mind to know that to know about your journey. Of course, you have explained it very well and in exhaustive manner. But still, if some students are very eager to know something, then we will invite some questions. So are there any questions? Rajesh ji.
Yeah, congratulations, Shruti ma'am, for a wonderful book. I've seen that in library. I see this is a divine charitra, and one would not be able to write without the grace of the deity. But there has to be something else. Certainly, maybe there. Before writing this charitra, and after completion of this, internally, have you felt any change? Is both the Shruti before and after are different?
Actually, it is difficult to answer this because change in what sense I don't know, but change means I felt good that I could write them. And when I was writing that, I had only this one thing in my mind, that I have to complete this somehow. So every day, at least one verse should be written. So that was what I had thought. So I think that maybe I became more dedicated towards whatever work I am doing. So that must be a change in me. That
Understood.
I got
What
more
next
dedicated.
after this? What next after this?
What next means stotras and some small kavyas I'm writing side by side. But if you are asking about any big kavya like this, I have one thing in mind, and that is Uttara Kadambari. So as we know,
Okay.
Kadambari of Banabhatta. Shakuntala madam only used to teach us when I was in I was doing MA. So I would like to write Uttara Kadambari, the story after where Kadambari stopped. I will like to write.
I think you have written a small story about that, no?
Yes.
He has already written a story.
That is a small story. It is published in Samarpanam, but I will like to write an elaborate one. So maybe when I get time, I will like to do that.
We will wait for that. Best wishes.
She had read whole Kadambari when I was teaching that Mahashveta Vardan. That you should, all of you should note.
Yes, noted. Thank you.
Kanak? Kana?
Uh, Thank you. Thank you for the talk. I think generally when we have some kavya, we refer to tikas or someone else, but the poet herself talking about it is just amazing. Secondly, it's not only on the kavya that you spoke about. I generally wanted to figure out how the process goes. So if there is a lyricist, he will write words and then it will be given to some musician, he will put music to it, or either ways. But when a poet writes, I think he writes and then there's a meter to it. How does that work? Does the words come first or the meter come first?
So in chanda, when you are writing in chanda, in verses or metrical format, it is both ways, I will say. Sometimes a poet thinks that I want to write in Mandakranta, I want to write in Sragvini. So sometimes we think like that, and then we compose words in that meter. But always the case is not like this. Sometimes the verses or some words come to your mind, and when you are fitting it, they on their own, sometimes they fit in Anushtup. Sometimes you feel, this is going well in Malini. You can proceed with this in Malini. Sometimes you feel it is good to put it in Shalini. So these are the different meters, and sometimes when the words come, we feel that this is how it should go. Or maybe sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes a complete line comes to you in a certain meter only. So that is a rare case, but that can also happen. But mainly sometimes you decide the meter, or sometimes when the words come to you, you fit them in the meter which you find appropriate at that time. This is my experience.
Yes, Ramakrishnan.
Yeah, Shruti ji, this is Ramakrishnan. You really enthralled us by your discourse on the bhakti or the story of Radha, which we rarely get to hear from the Puranas. As you rightly said, most of the episodes are related to that of Krishna, and of course the few anecdotes relating to Radha's love and Rasa Leela and all that. But to be able to provide an in-depth biography of Radha, I'm sure it must have taken almost akin to a tapascharya for you to be able to, draw the various anecdotes from the Puranas and put them in a kavya form. I'm telling you, it is absolutely due to the grace of Radha and Krishna that it is possible. It is humanly not possible. You have the bhakti was clearly seen through the way you presented. And now I have a few queries with regard to your talk. First one is, you said that Rama got cursed by Krishna, that he will also experience the separation from his wife as Krishna did, right? But as per the Chaturyuga cycle, Rama was Treta Yuga, Krishna was Dwapara Yuga. So how do we explain this sort of disconnect? Because we get to always believe that Rama avatar came first and then Krishna. So and then Krishna now is giving a curse to Rama. Unless we believe that every Chaturyuga, the whole Puranic stories repeat, like how history repeats itself. So that is one way to explain that. There is one query. Maybe I'll stop now and I will ask you the other queries after you have clarified this doubt of mine.
I did not say that Rama was cursed. When I was narrating the story, I told that Radha Devi was cursed by Sri Dama, that she will be born as a human and will be separated from Krishna. So,
okay.
It was not Rama's story.
Okay. So still chronologically it fits in that it was Rama who cursed.
Rama, no, Sri Dama. Sri Dama is the name of the Gopa, who was Sri Krishna's friend.
Okay, it has got nothing to do with the Rama of the.
It is not a Rama story.
Okay, I got confused with that. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for clarifying that doubt. The other thing is, you talked about the Radha Kalyan, no? The Radha Kalyan is very popular in South, especially if you go to South Indian temples during the Mrigashirsha month, the entire 30 days, they do Divyanama, and in every Divyanama invariably ends with Radha Kalyana. So the Divya Nama Sankirtana Parampara in South is very tightly integrated with Radha Kalyan. So I don't know, it may have got influence from the Chaitanya lineage, and they sing Ashtapatis and all that during that. It may not be as
Yes.
sorry. So I just wanted to bring that point before you. And the last point is Radha and Krishna. Has there been any sort of reference to them that Radha is Prakriti and Krishna is Purusha, Raja is Jivatma and Krishna is Paramatma? Like that, have you seen that in the scriptures that you have come across?
Yes, this Prakriti Purusha has been discussed in Brahmavaivarta Purana. There is a Prakriti Khanda in Brahmavaivarta Purana where Adi Prakriti is said to have come in two forms, Radha and Lakshmi. So the Moola Prakriti is Shri Radha. This has been told in this Prakriti Khanda. So
Okay.
Radha Krishna as Prakriti Purusha has been told. Shri Radha as Jivatma, I have not come across this. This has been spoken of with regards to Gita Govinda. Many have interpreted Gita Govinda to mean that Radha Devi is Jivatma and Krishna is Paramatma.
Yes.
But
Yes.
that is the interpretation of various scholars. I have not seen this in Brahmavaivarta Purana at least, or Garga Samhita also.
Okay. And then one final thing is Radha, is a word meaning Radha. If you reverse it, it is Dhara. Dhara means continuous flow.
Yes.
She had a continuous flow of love towards Krishna. And if you keep on repeating Dhara, 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 you get Radha.
Yes.
So that is another terminological meaning, if I may put it that way, about how to interpret Radha is Dhara. Continuous flow of uninterrupted devotion to Lord Krishna. Namo Namaha. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And one more thing you told about this Radha Kalyanam. I had not read about this. I had actually read about this Ramanuja Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya. And there I think Lakshmi Narayana are mainly given importance. So that time I had not read anything about Radha Krishna in South India. So I did not know, but now I will read more about this. Can you tell me this Radha Kalyanam is related to which Sampradaya specifically?
In South, it is followed, and the Divyanama Sampradaya of South, it was started by a few saints in South whose compositions are sung during that time. They have also incorporated abhangs into it to make it almost like a national integration, and some Ashtapati from Orissa. So it is sort of a package of the Bhakti cult. And most of the songs are composed by saints who were born in South. So they are in Tamil. Some of them are in Telugu, Kannada, and Marathi, the abhangs, of course, and some in Hindi. So it's sort of a mixture, heterogeneous languages.
I will read more about this.
Next time during the month of Mrigashirsha or Margari Masam, as we say in Tamil, do visit any South Indian temple. You will see a Radha Kalyan happening there. After the Namasankirtan.
I knew about Goda Kalyanam. Now this is Radha Kalyanam as well. Good.
And as you rightly said, Goda is Radha only, as you rightly said. Yes. And Andal Kalyanam is also very popular. When the children's marriage don't take place, they do Andal Kalyanam and hope that their daughter gets a suitable, groom. That is the tradition in South and belief. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There is one more question by Neha Bowlekar. राधाच्या 3 अवतारांबद्दल पुन्हा सांगाल का? सो एकदम थोडक्यात मला असं वाटतं.
तर या 3 अवतारांविषयी सांगायचं तर पुस्तकाच्या शेवटी मी या 3 अवतारांविषयी बोललीये. सुरुवातीला पहिला अवतार म्हणजे आंडाळ किंवा गोदादेवी, जो तमिळनाडूमध्ये झाला आळवार परंपरेमध्ये. 12 आळवारांपैकी एकमेव स्त्री आळवार जी आहे ती म्हणजे आंडाळ, आणि ती म्हणजे राधादेवीचा अवतार आहे असं मानलं जातं. त्यानंतर दुसरा अवतार म्हणजे मीराबाई, ज्या राजस्थानात झाल्या, आणि तिसरा अवतार चैतन्य महाप्रभू बंगालमध्ये जे होऊन गेले ते. तर हे 3 प्रमुखतः अवतार आहेत राधादेवीचे.
Is there any question? Akshata wants to ask. Akshata?
आळवार म्हणजे काय?
आळवार हा तमिळ शब्द आहे. जसे आपल्याकडे संत असतात ना, मराठी आणि हिंदी, आपण त्यांना संत म्हणतो मराठीत, त्यांना तिकडे तमिळनाडूमध्ये आळवार म्हणतात. म्हणजे त्याचा अर्थ असा आहे की जे भक्तीत बुडालेले आहेत. आणि आळवार हे विशेषतः वैष्णवच असतात. आणि दुसरे जे शैव आहेत त्यांना नायनार म्हणतात. तर हे आळवार म्हणजे भगवान विष्णूचे भक्त, आणि ते सगळे असे महात्मा होते, जसे आपल्याकडे संत असतात तसे तिथे होते आळवार.
अजून एक विचारायचं होतं, हे जे राधेचे जे 3 अवतार आहेत त्याच्याबद्दल कसं कळलं?
म्हणजे वेगवेगळ्या वाचनातूनच कळलं, असं डायरेक्टली एका ठिकाणी कुठे असं लिहिलेलं नाहीये. पण मी चैतन्य महाप्रभूंचं चरित्र खूप असं चैतन्य चरितावली वगैरे मी वाचत होते, तर त्याच्यामधनं मला त्यांच्याविषयी कळलं. आंडाळचं मी म्हणजे आपल्या पेपर म्हणजे मराठी पेपरमध्ये एकदा लिहून आलेलं होतं. मग त्यानंतर मी आणखीन थोडं शोधलं त्यांच्याविषयी आणि त्याच्यातनं मला त्यांच्याविषयी समजलं. मग जे दक्षिण भारतामध्ये काय काय परंपरा असतात त्याच्याविषयी थोडी माहिती मिळाली. त्याच्यातनं आंडाळविषयी जास्ती करून माहिती मिळाली आणि मीराबाईंविषयी पण मी बरंच वाचत होते त्यावेळेला. त्यामुळे त्यांच्या प्रेमाची तुलना राधादेवीशी केल्यावरती हे लक्षात आलं की त्याच्यात साम्य आहे. तर
असा उल्लेख नाहीये का की त्या मीराबाईंचा अवतार आहेत?
नाही, असा प्रत्यक्ष उल्लेख असा कुठे नाहीये, कारण पुराणांमध्ये वगैरे तर ह्या तिघ अवतारांविषयी काहीच नाहीये, कारण हे नंतरचे आहेत. त्यामुळे असं प्रत्यक्षात कुठे म्हटलेलं नाहीये, पण त्याचा अभ्यास केल्यावर असं लक्षात येतं.
ओके, थँक्यू. खूप छान झालं सेशन.
धन्यवाद.
अनिता?
येस, आवाज येतोय माझा?
हो.
हा श्रुती, खूपच छान लेक्चर होतं. म्हणजे आय एम रिअली इन लव्ह विथ राधा नाव. मला राधेबद्दल असं कुठेतरी वाचल्याचं आठवतंय की रुक्मिणी आणि राधा या एकच आहेत. तर त्याच्याबद्दल काय सांगू शकशील तू?
मी म्हंटल तसं भरपूर गोष्टी राधाकृष्णांविषयीच्या प्रसिद्ध आहेत, कारण सरळ डायरेक्ट माहितीचे स्रोत जेव्हा कमी असतात तेव्हा मग अनेक गोष्टी त्याबद्दल आपल्याला वाचायला मिळतात. त्यामुळे बऱ्याच जणांनी राधादेवीवरती विचार केलेला आहे, एक कॅरेक्टर म्हणून, एक व्यक्तिमत्व म्हणून खूप लोकांनी त्यावर विचार केलाय. तर त्यामुळे काही लोकांचं म्हणणं आहे की रुक्मिणीच्या पूर्व आयुष्याविषयी तुम्हाला काही माहित नाहीये आणि राधादेवीच्या पुढच्या आयुष्याविषयी माहित नाही, मग दोघे एकच असतील. तर असा एक कयास व्यक्त केला गेलेला आहे, पण ते काही खरं नाहीये. पुराणांमध्ये असं कुठे सांगितलेलं नाही, उलट त्यांच्या दोघींच्या भेटीचा प्रसंग सांगितलेला आहे. पण अशामुळे लोकांचे कयास होतात की माहिती नाहीये तर मग हे एकच असेल, असं मी वाचलेलं. त्यामुळे हा एक त्यांनी मांडलेला विचार आहे असं आपण म्हणू शकतो.
येस अलका?
नाही, मला काय विचारायचं होतं, अभिनंदन तुमचं या अवॉर्ड साठी. पण तुमचं पुस्तक आम्हाला कुठे मिळू शकेल? आणि युनिव्हर्सिटीमध्ये तर आम्ही जातो, तर आमच्या संस्कृत डिपार्टमेंटमध्ये अवेलेबल होऊ शकेल का?
हो, इथे एक तुम्हाला रेफरन्स द्यावी असेल तर कॉपी तिथल्या लायब्ररीमध्ये आहेच. विकत घ्यायचं असेल तर ते पब्लिशर म्हणजे मला दुसरं कोणी नाही आणि मीच पब्लिशर असल्यामुळे मीच देते पुस्तकं. तर मला मॅडमनी पण सांगितलं की आता संस्कृत दिनाच्या वेळेला तिथे काही कॉपीज ठेव. तर सध्या जेवढ्या कॉपीज आहेत तेवढ्या मी आणीन, पण आता त्या संपत आल्यात आणि रिप्रिंट साठी दिलेलं आहे. तर तुम्ही समजा कॉपी नाही मिळाली तर तुम्ही मला सांगून ठेवा. रिप्रिंट एकदा झालं की मी ताबडतोब काही दिवसातच तुम्हाला कॉन्टॅक्ट करून ते देईन. मी ईमेल आयडी पण देऊन ठेवीन माझा तिथे, तर तुम्ही ईमेल आयडी वर मला ईमेल करू शकता आणि मी तुम्हाला घरी पण पाठवू शकते.
चालेल चालेल, धन्यवाद. कारण जेव्हा तुमचं तयार होईल तेव्हा तुम्ही देऊ शकणार.
जरूर जरूर.
कारण आम्हाला वाचायला जरूर आवडेल हे खूप. कारण त्याच्या एवढं आता त्याच्याबद्दल ऐकलंय ना की उत्सुकता निर्माण झाली आहे.
फक्त एवढंच आहे की त्याचं भाषांतर आता करायला वेळ झालेला नाहीये, त्यामुळे ते अजून तरी फक्त संस्कृत मध्येच आहे.
हरकत नाही,
जेव्हा वेळ मिळेल तेव्हा करू भाषांतर करून.
बरोबर. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, Shruti. To hear to the journey of composing the Mahakavya from the poetess is a great treat in itself. You are the role model for many youngsters who are pursuing Sanskrit as their career. After hearing this journey of how your Mahakavya was composed, I am sure I am not only the one eagerly looking forward to read it. I am sure all of us here cannot wait to read it. I, on behalf of Sanskrit department, thank you once again and wish you a wonderful future. I thank Mr. Rohit for providing us with Zoom facility. I thank all enthusiastic participants. Your support always encourages us to bring something new and scholarly for you. All participants kindly note that Sanskrit department is celebrating Sanskrit Day on 1st of October. Time is 2:30 to 4:30. To grace this occasion, we have Dr. Ravindra Mue sir as a chief guest. On this occasion, students of the department are organizing cultural events. Meritorious students will be felicitated by the department. So I request all of you to grace the occasion by showing presence in large number. Thank you.
We will be also felicitating Shruti on that day, on the Sanskrit.
Yeah.
So you will definitely get a chance to meet her, and also we will keep some copies of Shrimati Charitram. So that will be available to you. So you all are cordially invited on the 1st October, Saturday, for the Sanskrit Day celebration. Thank you so much.